You're listening to the Who Does That podcast.
Hey guys, Who Does That? Episode 3. We're back again. I'm Jacob.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Sam.
Whoa! Hey! What's going on? That's right, we have a special guest this week. Sam, who are you?
Well, yeah, I'm your brother, so you should probably already know that. But
Okay, we got a couple of questions here we're going to ask Sam in terms of just getting them super quick. So firstly, what do you do?
yeah, I work as an apprentice electrician up at Helensburgh at a mine. So I work a lot underground, yeah.
Yeah, so that didn't really sell the story, because what Sam actually does is he goes down a 500-meter mine shaft until he hits the bottom where it's pitch black, no phones, and you could die down there. Like, it's super dangerous environment.
Yeah, well, we run lights and stuff like that, but there's live cutting going on and all sorts of things. There's like methane and other gases leaching out, so you got to monitor everything. It's pretty dangerous, but when done correctly, it goes all right. Yeah.
And you make a lot of money, let me tell you, baby. Cole's where it's at.
I mean, it's all right. No one's died there in like 30 years, so we're rolling. We're rolling.
Really good.
All right, next question, Sam. It's near the end of the year, so if this year was a chapter in a book, what was the title of the chapter for you?
It would be, okay, yeah, sweet. It would be, I think, Chapter 2, New Beginnings.
New beginnings. Sounds like you've gone through hectic crisis.
Well,
or
no,
something.
New Beginnings. I mean,
I'll
tell you why. I'll tell you why it's New
Yeah.
Beginnings. I mean,
Off the back of chapter 1, clearly.
yeah.
What was chapter 1 about?
Chapter 1 was like the first part of my life up until the end of year 13. I feel like that kind of year 13 closed off school and that kind of era, and now I'm going to full-time work. It's a lot different. New things happening.
Different lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a new beginnings, really.
New beginnings, good beginnings. That
good,
sounds
yeah.
good to me. Okay, last question. Judging by your physique, I know you're pretty thin, man. I was going to ask you if you've ever been to the gym before.
Yeah, I've been once or twice.
Once
or twice.
Not as much as the other Sam's been going.
Yeah, all that swim practice.
It's actually the flip side. It's the other Sam that never goes, and it's this Sam that goes a lot. So.
Yeah, I do go a fair bit.
I mean, if you're watching on YouTube right now, because we're going to have this episode up on YouTube, hopefully by Monday, you'll see that, hey, this guy's got a bit of a frame on him over here. Look at these biceps over here. You can't even see me. I'm literally hidden behind him. Okay, Sam, why do you think that we invited you on the podcast today?
Yeah, well, I both know you guys pretty well, but I think it was mainly to do with the marathon I did. Marathon I did this year.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
I know, marathon, who does that? First special guest, it's exciting to have you here. What was the marathon that you did?
Yeah, I did the Sydney, it was part of the Sydney Running Festival, and that is a 42.195 kilometre run. They run all sorts of different lengths, but that's the longest run they do. So I thought, I did the half marathon the previous year in 2018. So I thought, let's just jump in, let's just do it and give it a go.
That, hey.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cooked. Did you train much for the event, you would say, or?
Yeah, like little 5K runs. And I think it was like a 20K 2 weeks before, and like that was pretty hectic for me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So I was like, yeah, it's just double the distance. What's up? You know?
How long did it take you to do the actual marathon?
I managed to finish 4 hours and 57 minutes. So I wanted to get under 5 hours.
That's okay.
What pace is that?
It's like a bit under. I was like 6:50 pace, like
huge.
So I was cranking. Like, I'll give you a rundown. I was cranking. The first 20K went pretty smooth. Not gonna lie. I was going about like a 5:30 pace.
Yeah.
And I was cruising through, and then stuff happened. Let's just say that.
It was so funny because I was there on the day, and Dad, I think, went and dropped you a care package Red Bull halfway through the race.
I needed it, man.
And you should have seen. You should have seen Sam. I'll try and get a photo of him up somewhere if you're watching on YouTube. And Sam had like a backwards cap on, his Beats headphones,
the biggest speed dealers,
and he was shirtless.
I had a CD Mo at that point as well.
And it was a sweaty CD Mo by this point. And
everyone was staying away from you. And
yeah, they were. They were like really far around me.
It was like part in the Red Sea.
It was like a 3-meter radius around me when I was running, which is good. So,
now, if you could describe your Well, before we get into the breakdown of what happened at the end there, just want to ask, what was your reason for wanting to do this? Because I know a lot of people that would literally just say, like, who the heck does that? I don't know why you would want to run a marathon. Like, it's not like you especially love running either. Like, I don't think you regularly run at all. So why do you like the idea of, like, challenging yourself and doing a marathon?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like everyone, like our human body is really awesome in the way they can adapt and kind of push through things. I think there's a big mental game that is really kind of half the battle. And doing the half marathon last year, I thought was really awesome. But I was seeing people running it beside me who were much like basically super overweight and super unfit, but they were just charging through and they had this determination. I thought if these people can charge the half marathon, the full marathon, and I thought I can do that as well. I have a fit enough body. I'm not amazing at running, but I'll just chuck myself in there, see what happens.
Yeah, what the heck? But but still the question remains, why do that though? Like,
yeah, that's a question I'm still asking myself to this day. And I was asking my legs the night after.
Yeah, because at the end there, like I saw one guy across the line, and he was wearing like super tight blue pants, like super thin legs, looked like a super fit dude. He literally, like, peg leg. One of his legs had fully locked up. It was so stiff from the cramps. And he completely shat himself all the way down. You could see the flow down his leg, into his sock, in his shoe, and was just cranking it across the line. I don't think I've ever had much respect for somebody. Like, that's I don't even know what mile that happened at as well. That could have happened at mile 12. And this guy's just
charging it. Hot sun. It was a hot day as well. It was like 8 degrees hotter than the day before. So
I think God bless that man.
Yeah. It was. I think the run started at 7 o'clock, so I finished just before midday. I tell you, the only thing that got me through that race was the thought of having burgers and beers afterwards at the James Squire bar in Sydney.
And especially at the end, you run past the James Squire bar and they have their distillery on display.
I saw that. I was like, I need that now. I need that pronto.
I know, but you have to full run around Circular Quay and then come back. I think the hardest bit would have been walking back to the hotel afterwards.
No,
well, it was for me, but we'll talk about me in a second.
We'll talk about you.
But for you, for how would you describe like the last like 5-10 Ks?
I'll give you a bit of a rundown. So yeah, like I said before, the first half of it I was just smashing through because that's kind of that distance I've done before multiple times, so it wasn't nothing really to sweat. And then I got to about 26K, and I was charging through, and I thought this is not too bad. I'm just putting away. Had my second Red Bull dropped off to me. Had my Nurofen. Had my paracetamol. And about like 26 on the dot, both my legs locked up like it was like clicking. It was like they both locked up. All the muscles in the leg locked up straight. No. I could not walk. I nearly fell over. Nearly tripped over the gutter. And I was holding onto this signpost to stop myself from falling over. And I was doing this like peg-legged hobble to get like just to make any meterage at all.
Yeah.
And at that point, I almost started crying. I was like, okay, this is not happening. I got to like 26K, and how long is that? That's 14, it's like 16K to go. Yeah. 16 kilometers, which is a big run on its own when you're fresh.
When you're cool.
And I am done. I'm like psychologically broken at that point.
Yeah.
So I just keep kind of making Ks as they come, and I get to about 30. And then I meet this other dude. This other dude's running next to me, and he's pretty unfit. And he's struggling at that point. And I start chatting to him. I'm like, do you want to kind of just cruise at a pace and we run together, kind of a bit of motivation for each other? And he said, that'd be good, man. So we're cruising through, and yeah, we just putt away, and then at that point he set me off because he basically said, hey, like, you're a bit more fitter than me. I wasn't really, but he said, just run ahead, I don't really want to keep it down. So I was like, okay, God bless.
You left him behind.
That was the mental motivation Sam needed. He's like, oh, I'm better than him. I can do this.
No. It was like I wanted to run. It was like go on without me. Sam was like, yeah, okay, see ya.
No, yeah, it was basically that. It was like that dramatic. And then I found another guy, a younger bloke, and I said the same thing. I was like, hey, like, I was dying at this point, so I need whoever.
You just iron off all the people that you can I can potentially be better than them.
No.
Anyway. And you just said, I said, hey. You'd have been like, oh, hey, man.
No, I was pretty chill. I walked up and I was
chill.
like, I was super.
You weren't even trying.
I was like super nonchalant, just like, hey, how you going? What's up? Yeah, you mind if I run with you? And he's like, sweet. So we're cruising along, and then I found another guy, and I like added him to the pack. I made a bit of like a running pack. There was like about 5 of us, and we started just cruising through this like mob of like young lads. I think we were all early 20s.
Yeah.
And we get through, And then at a certain point, I was checking my watch because I wanted to finish in under 5 hours, and I saw the time was kind of getting away from me, and a lot of the lads wanted to walk. But before I kind of ran off, along the race they had like gels and stuff like that to kind of keep you hydrated, to keep you fueled. Well, because the half marathon was before the full marathon, what happened was that this is probably partly Jacob's fault because he was in the half.
No, it wasn't all.
The half marathon runners came through and took all the gels. So by the time the back end of the full marathon runners came through, like me, the slow people, everything was gone. So there was no nutrients, no food, nothing to like, kind of get me by. All the boys, when we saw like the aid tables, we started charging towards it. We're like, oh, there's gonna be gels, sweet, and get there, nothing. We're like, no. We're drinking like this crappy electrolyte water. Like, no one wants that.
Oh,
Get
no.
away from that.
It's like diluted Coke from
terrible.
Macca's, dude. It's trash.
Anyway, so we're cruising through, and these two women are beside the course in the race. They're not running, they're just watching. And they had these huge buckets full of jelly beans. And they were handing them out to people, and they came over to us as we're running past, and we just like gorged ourselves, like double-handed scoops, smashed into our mouths, just crunched. It was the best. It was probably I don't like jelly beans, but it was one of the best tasting foods I've ever had. Jelly beans at that point. Anyway, so we get over one of the bridges, and at that point, I thought I got to kind of charge ahead. So I just try to cruise away from the pack, the boys, say goodbye to them, left them behind. And at that point, the calves like started locking up like so bad, I could not move my legs. So what would happen is it would cramp, and then I go over to like a gutter or a signpost and try and stretch out the cramp, and I put my full weight down on it, and the calf would not unlock. So I was stuck there with this calf, like my foot down like that, trying to pounce along on the road. And that kind of I just muddled my way through. By then it was like 38k. So I thought not too long to go, and just putted away. When you got near the finish line, there was heaps of people, so they kind of screamed at you to go. So you had a bit of motivation, and go over the line. 4:57.
I have to say, I was
4:57. So you just made it under.
Yeah. 3 minutes.
Classic Sam.
That's huge.
Set his mind to do something, he'll flip and do it.
It was sick. Yeah.
But I was super impressed. I was there on the day. We all watched Sam cross the line.
What happened to you on that
We were
marathon?
cheering. But I think seeing Sam cross the line, like I was pretty flippant impressed. Like it's super hard to run a marathon, so well done. But I think a story that I reckon really encapsulates Sam's determination, and partly was the reason why I think he was able to finish on the day, is because he's always been determined ever since he was a child. And growing up with Sam, one of my favourite Sam determination stories has to be the time when Mum ordered Domino's for dinner, but Sam couldn't eat it because he had a loose tooth. Remember when you're a young kid?
May I just say that, like, when Domino's was ordered for dinner, that was big stuff.
Oh, that was a big stuff. We were used to like
rarely.
Yeah,
or like,
it wasn't the
pretty
worst.
rarely.
It wasn't too rare, but like it was super exciting.
it was like a regular like Friday night kind of take on dinner.
Probably like
no
maybe
way.
once or twice a month.
Yeah,
if we're
okay.
lucky.
Yeah.
So.
But it was better than green soup, and it was better than 3-ingredient nachos.
Oh, you
so
should just have like rice and soy sauce.
Oh.
Like it wasn't bad looking back on it, but like when I was a kid, I was picky, so like I ate that kind of stuff.
But what happened was we got pizza for dinner. Sam was so keen on eating it, but he couldn't eat it because he had a loose tooth. Like it was still pretty stuck in, but it was so loose that biting down really hurt. So we're at the table, like I was laughing, Sam was just crying.
You were just mocking me.
I was just making fun of Sam. I was such a horrible brother growing up.
Yeah.
Like making fun of Sam. Sam was crying because he wanted to eat the pizza so badly.
My tooth was so sore as well.
And your tooth was killing you. So what happened was, we're all sitting at the table, Sam's crying, he's left. I'm like, we'll gone to sulk in his room. What Sam actually did is that he ran into the bathroom, grabbed his tooth, ripped it out of his mouth.
Oh my god.
Just left it in the sink, I think. And then he
came straight back.
And then he
Doesn't
came
have time.
straight back to the table, blood in his mouth, sat down crying. Just starts eating pizza. And everyone's like, what the heck? And Mum was like, Sam, you ripped your tooth out. Like, I don't know, I ate pizza. And then just kept eating it. And I was like...
Yeah, there's like blood coming out of my mouth.
Oh.
And it feels like a bit of the nerve attached to the tooth as well when I saw it.
It was painful.
It was crazy.
But yeah, ever since that day, I was like, whatever Sam sets his mind to, he can do it. And I think he's looking to do an Ironman in the future.
Yeah, a few years ahead. So I'm going to do I'm going to do a Spartan trifecta next year, looking to do that.
Oh yeah.
With a few mates, and then from there I'll try a half Ironman, and then we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the intention. I'll probably die and I'll take forever, but yeah.
I know.
That's it.
Yeah, no, it was a good day in the marathon.
But let's talk about Jacob's time on the marathon. What happened, man? What's up?
Not even marathon. Don't give me titles. Half marathon.
Jacob, non-finisher.
Yeah, what's up? So that was a pretty cool day. Ran half marathon 1:47.
No.
I was averaging a 2-minute kilometer.
Are you allowed to use the word run? What happened after
Oh.
500 meters?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's like-
Give us a little lowdown, Jacob.
The lowdown was my ass was injured, right?
Oh,
so
yeah, okay.
2 weeks before,
Okay.
don't give me the okays. The 2 weeks before, Sam did the half marathon run, and I did a half marathon with him.
But through that pretty well.
Yeah, I did that well, but what it did is it aggravated my knee so much that it just inflamed the tendon in the area down there because I hadn't been watching my progressive overload. I just jumped way too high too quickly.
Yeah.
And because of my history of injury, I can't do that like big man Sam can over here. So left it for 2 weeks, rested it up. I'm stretching it. I'm rolling out on the spike ball. Get to the race day. I'm feeling pretty good, right? I'm feeling pretty good. Start to do the half marathon. I'm chugging along. I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm going to crack this half marathon out. Easy. My goal is to just run the whole thing. Literally 500 meters in, bang, knee pain. It literally hit.
So bad.
Like someone just set up a little bomb in my knee. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then just every time I would run, it would just feel like someone was stabbing it. So we're 500 meters off from the start. Everyone else is running. Like literally, I'm grandma after grandma's passing me. I'm like, first of all, what is she doing here? Second of all, she's passing me. What's going on? Like,
The disrespect.
absolutely.
What were
so
some people
humiliating.
saying to you?
Yeah, literally a kilometer out, I was walking. People could visibly see I was in pain because I was trying to run. I tried like 6 or 7 times afterwards to run, even though it hurt so much. And people would slap me on the back and be like, come on, mate, pick up the pace, let's go. And
Was that a kilometre into the
that was a
race?
kilometre in.
Oh,
And
no.
I had to do the whole thing. Oh, it was so painful. It was so humiliating. Literally, thousands of people passed me. Like,
And did you pick up a medal at the end, Jacob?
no, what happened was, it's because if I had finished the race and felt accomplished, I would have grabbed a medal. But because I was so slow, like I was just with the walkers. I couldn't run. Like I literally had to limp. So I was limping for 21 Ks. When I got to the 14K mark, there was this extra loop. But because I was so slow, they were like, sorry man, you can't do the loop. You just got to turn around now. So I didn't even do the full length. They cut 2 Ks off the course. So it wasn't even a half marathon. I just walked 19 Ks on the day.
Oh, no.
So I walked across the line. I couldn't run, so I walked across the line. Everyone was clapping, like, keep running. Like, and I looked depressed at this point. I was just like, I'm hating life, feeling so bad. Oh, so I crossed the line, and they weren't even handing out medals for my event anymore. That I was just slipping
cut
so
off,
slow.
mate.
Like,
Yeah.
they just cut off. Even if they were handing out medals, I wouldn't want one anyway.
Disrespect.
I just walked through, and then I just went and sat down on the hill and tried to stretch my knee out. It hurt heaps. And it was a depresso espresso right there.
The burgers and beers were good afterwards.
Oh yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
They were good. And tell you what wasn't good afterwards? Sam flipping roasted my ass.
Yeah,
He like
I rubbed it in, eh?
he rubbed it in so hard. And there would be at one point where I think I said something that wrecked you, and then you turned around to me and like, so what'd you run today? Oh! You're dumb. Yeah.
Doing the half marathon the year before helped me adapt because what I didn't do for the half marathon was use
Oh,
Vaseline
this was so
and
bad.
petroleum jelly between my legs like I did in the full one. I put half a bottle in basically.
Man,
this year.
this guy literally thought it would be a smart idea to wear boxer shorts under skins.
Yeah.
So when he ran, it was just
Under
like
skins.
Yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
thinking behind that?
I don't know.
there wasn't thinking behind that.
Like, there was
I don't know.
nothing.
I don't question what Sam thought in 2018.
I tell you what, everyone was questioning how big. It was like 2 big chafe scars. It was black.
It's black.
The
It's like a dark purple.
dark purple, just chafe bruising on the inside of both of his legs.
For day, I could not
gosh.
walk for like a couple days. Yeah,
Yeah.
I took work off on the day after, like on the previous year. It was not good.
Yeah,
So,
I just couldn't even walk.
Gosh.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely cooked.
so this year I just lathered up. It was so good. No problems at all. The cramping was probably the main problem. So yeah, it's cool how you can kind of adapt. It's kind of learning through failure. So
Yes, sick. Well, I didn't think I really learnt much through my failure other than how to flip and humble yourself in front of thousands of people.
yeah.
I literally felt so embarrassed to be there. And I was trapped because I had to get to the end because that's what we were all doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I can't just...
Can't just walk off the course like
No, I know. I was like, I need to get there.
The,
I know.
the worst thing was like the way the loop went. So the full marathon basically went the course of the half marathon, but at the start there was a massive detour, like a giant
big
detour
20K.
through Centenary Park, I think it's
Yeah.
called. Anyway, I thought it was going to be like a little detour. I thought it's all good, but like when I was going into the park, like there was like 5-kilometer signs up saying like you've reached 5 kilometers in the race.
Yeah.
I looked to the other side as though the people running out of the park, which there already was, and it was like 26 kilometer pace. It was like that was the 26 kilometer sign. So I was like, I'm not sure how long I'm in this park for, but it's gonna be for a long time. And we just kept running around. It was just running in circles. I was like, what's going on here? And all the gels were gone as well.
And then you finish, and then you get back onto the track.
Yeah, so then he finished the
So it wasn't
path.
much of a point to point. It was actually just lots of loops.
Oh, you wouldn't double loop the same area, but the way the park went, it was like a big giant circle with some like internal circles.
Yeah.
So then you double back and then run back out the same way.
It's a pretty good course. Despite our horror stories, hey, I'd like to see you there next year.
Yeah, so
We'll probably be doing it. Maybe I'll be worked up for the marathon.
Like a formal invite, all listeners getting in on the Sydney Running Festival.
Yeah, well, we have to see who turns up to the swim first, which is something that I believe you are doing as well.
Hectic, yeah, 100%.
I roped Sam's arsey and he didn't even have a chance, for sure.
I didn't really complain though. I didn't say anything.
I know.
Yeah, they got rid of me, and so then we just
Yeah.
replaced me with another Sam.
Like, bit of clarification. I'm not a good swimmer at all.
No.
Like at all,
No.
really. I can do like a K in a pool, but that's with breaks, and I'm pretty.
Hey, you need to start training for this event, though.
I'll be good, man.
No, you're not going to be good. Sam's just going to hold his... Because Sam used to spearfish heaps. Sam's just going to hold his breath and walk the 1.8 Ks underwater, and then he's going to pop back up.
No, I'm probably going to end up doggy paddling or something.
Oh,
really
yeah.
bad like that.
Yeah.
It'll be like the stories reversed. Like you're going to cruise through it, and I'm going to be like,
Yeah,
people are like, come on, mate. It's like I'm 5 meters off the boat ramp.
5 meters off the boat.
I just try and turn around. They just prod me back into the ocean.
Yeah.
Nah, mate, you're finishing the race. With the Subway Swish going on, guys, what's going on there?
Yeah, what is going on for the Subway Swish? So, Sam, do you want to tell us how that poll went?
Yeah, I do. The Subway Swish ended up being a Subway Swish.
It's not so swish. It's not so swish.
There was There was an all-out comment war.
It was just a backlash to Jacob trying to tag all his mates in, and everyone's like, "Nah, he's too desperate. I'm gonna vote against him."
No, we got so many people voted though. I was so impressed. We got like I think
it was like
12 in the original.
Yeah.
And in the 24-hour post, we got like 30.
I just don't understand what's so exciting about missing the bin with your
Exactly.
Thank you.
It shows you're incompetent.
We're just getting away from the norm, man. Like everyone's sick of just seeing it go Swish, but
because everyone goes to the Subway and Subway Swishes.
Yeah, well, either way, I reckon that it's Swish now, and I reckon we're gonna love it. It's all. I mean, like, despite me loving the not so Swish, everyone loves seeing it when it just goes and banks in Swish. So Sam and I have scavenged our Subway wrapping paper, but if you want to get on board with this, you're gonna have to scavenge yours as well. And I want to be seeing Swish shots in and everywhere. We haven't had anything sent through so far, and also we didn't have the super cool groovy intro this week because no one sent in any voice clips. So big rip in the chat there.
Next, I will send one in this coming week.
Yeah, we got at least one next week. Because Sam's gonna send one in. So if you're
unsure with what's going on, just kind of look at mine and maybe roughly
better.
base it on better it because it's not going to be great.
We'll use yours as an example. We'll edit it so it sounds really pitch monkey as well.
Sweet.
Pitch monk? What the heck is a pitch monk?
What did you just say?
I said
What did you just say?
Pitch monkey.
Pitch monkey. I was thinking Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna say we're gonna change the pitch so it sounds like a chipmunk, but I said pitch monkey.
I don't know. I've never seen a monkey sing. Monkeys can do heaps of stuff, but I've never seen one sing before.
Do you know how you trap a monkey? Is you put a nut in like a thing that they can put their hand through, and so when they grab the nut, they close their fist and they can't get their hand out. And so they're stuck
release
there.
it?
Is that how you
No, they don't release it. They keep trying to pull it out, and they just don't think to pull it out, and they just get stuck there. And that's how you trap monkeys. That's how they get them in the wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hectic. Knowing it's growing.
Wow, what would be less traumatic, the nut thing or sedating a monkey? I feel like you just get a SEAL team to come in. There's a group of monkeys and
Or like tranquilize it.
Bang, shoots through it. Everyone's out.
It's like Harambe style, just tranquilizer.
Super out of nowhere tangent. Is everyone ready for this? Watching a video on YouTube this week about how much can a gorilla bench press. Really interesting. They are the 4th strongest animal for their weight.
I thought chimpanzee was up there as one of the strongest.
Gorilla's strongest. And then it's these
Do
two...
ants still count in that?
There's 2 beetles, then ants, then gorilla.
I think I looked it up, like a 100-pound, that's about 44 kilos, similar to that. A 44 kilo chimpanzee is basically stronger than me in all my lifts.
Yeah.
And is like half
But in
the
terms
weight.
of the top creatures. We're probably down at 200, so
Yeah, we're
chimpanzee is
down
probably at like 39 or something.
Yeah, I've heard it theorized that a 600-pound silverback can pick up over like similar to 3 ton. I don't know how. I
How
don't know if
does
that's
that work?
accurate.
Like, how does that
I
work?
They're
don't
just
know. I
big,
don't know.
man.
It's-
They're big.
They got some good lats, like massive lats.
Big lads.
Big on the pull-up bars.
I'm
like,
talking like these
100%.
guys, they jump off a plane, they just wingsuit down in their lats.
They have
man.
like this sick diet of like bananas, insects, and then they don't have a protein powder in the wild. So
I don't know. I don't know.
What are you doing wrong
They
there?
got mad genetics. I gotta let me tell you.
Want more? Come hang out with us on our Who Does That Facebook group.
It's been good to have you here this week, Sam.
Yeah.
We've loved having you along. Sam's
Thanks for
got to
having
head
me,
off soon. It's been fun hearing about your marathon fails and my half marathon fails.
No, he did it.
Yeah, actually, there was no fails
yours-
there.
yours-
I
He
didn't-
struggled, but he
Your
still finished.
19-kilometer
Yeah, we
walk.
won't even call it a half marathon.
It's not half marathon.
And my 19-kilometer run fail. That was good.
Yeah.
Remember to try and hit your Subway swishes, send those clips in, and send in a voice clip. We're going to make a post of Sam's so you guys can know what to do and what they should sound like roughly.
Beautiful.
But thanks for tuning in this week. Had a lot of fun, and I'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys
See you
next
later.
week. Bye.